Hello and welcome to M&C Mornings. It is November 20th, 2016. We are closing in on Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was the past few days. I've been sick with the flu and stuff, but I'm sounding better, hopefully a little bit congested still. But thank you guys all for joining us. Phone 9 is MC Space Mornings on Skype. We've got a lot of cool stuff planned to talk about today. And with me, as always, we got the Mooch.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, I thought you were going to introduce me as Mooch now to handle the traffic. And I'm like, well, traffic into the city today has got a staggering slow start. No, it was a great morning intro there, Crap. You sound a lot better, too. So whatever Robitussin you were drinking last night was working.
Oh, dude, it was a lot of NyQuil, man. A lot of NyQuil.
I got news for you. Last night's game night was, to use Bam's words, it was lit. And I think a lot of people were neglecting the soda and going just hard liquor last night. It seemed to be.
Oh yeah, that was one of the funniest things is, like, for me, that the talks that we were having last night, even though I don't remember everything, I remember laughing a lot. And I remember thinking, hey, Noof was actually being really funny. So
Noof was by far he's top billing. He was the funniest son of a bitch last night. And I mean, we kind of jumped all over the place, right? That's what's great. You get, like, Games Night has the first game initially. So last night we were all playing Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, but then we switched over maybe an hour and a half hour and 45 minutes over to Gears. Then we played that for a while. But do you realize something that's going on out there, Crap? I mean, we're playing a lot of, not community versus community gameplay. It's been the community versus, random, the public out in Xbox Live. What's going on? Are the All-Stars are all showing up now? Maybe everybody's at home on early Christmas or November or Thanksgiving break. Like last night, we were playing some true competition out there. I mean, it was pretty hard.
Yeah, it was fun though. Like for me, I was like, I couldn't figure out why my game had no sound. So like that was a little bit frustrating. So I was like, I have no sound. That's why I left for a little bit. I was trying to figure out what the deal was. Like my Xbox had sound, everything had sound, just the game had no sound. And I even restarted it. So I was like, okay, this is a little bit frustrating. And then, like for me, I stayed up till 1 just shooting the shit with you guys, and then I had to go to bed, and then I get up at 4:30 to work so that I can get back in time.
Yeah, I was actually going to recommend you got up earlier. I knew early you had to get up for work. I said, wow, he is going to be a real treat tomorrow. M&C Mornings.
Yeah.
I hope you picked up your caffeine drink.
I did, and it was funny, right? So I left, I got up, I took care of everything. I was really making good time. I was going to be back. I still made it back earlier than normal, but I got a flat tire on the way back. And I was like, are you serious? You know what I mean? So I pull off, and I guess like the inner thread on one of my tires was bad. And so it popped, and so I was like, okay. And then I have a donut, and so I put that on. I'm like looking at that thing. I'm like, that thing don't look too good either. So I like drove home pretty slow. You know what I mean? I was like, I just got to get home today so I can do M&C Mornings. I'll worry about this shit tomorrow. But so it's been wild. You know what I mean? And then this past week I picked up a couple of cool things. Another TV, living that 4K life, and
I gotta catch up to you. Crap. Yeah. I mean, I have 4K, but I don't have the HDR thing going on, and I really feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, once you play the games with HDR, you're like, holy crap. You just want all the games to support that.
Absolutely.
Like for me, that's the main thing that I'm thinking. I'm like, man, I really wish that every game supported it, not just a handful, and hopefully we'll get that soon enough as well. Phil Spencer was actually talking up Scorpio a little bit.
Yeah,
and he was talking about the price, and a lot of people are like, "Oh man, this thing." They're back on that expensive tip. You know what I mean? Where they're like $799, it's going to be $899 or $1,000, and I'm thinking, man, you got to pay attention to what Phil's saying, right? He's saying it's going to be more expensive than the Xbox One S, which is $299.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to go off the most expensive one, and you're going to be able to get it probably next year for $249. So I think that. They're doing a very good job of, like, Phil was honest. Like, if you look into it, right, he was very honest. Remember when he was talking about, well, we don't want to do upgradable stuff where people are taking apart their stuff, and we don't want to do big numbers. And he did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, So he really did that, and I'm really. If you listen to what he says, he doesn't really swerve people, and he's very honest about it. So.
Well, here's my thing with the whole, and I understand that I'm probably in the minority here, but my take is this, okay? Let's just use a different example, and I'll tie it back into Phil's. People have been asking me, Mooch, how's your Astro A50s? How's your Astro A50s? Well, I finally got a chance to put them on yesterday, and my initial thoughts and reviews are they are fantastic. I actually want to talk to Crap a little bit right now and ask him about how the voice came out and all that. But before I get into that, I want to hit this subject home. A lot of people that were in community game night last night, people that are on Twitter, they're like, well, those better be good. They're $300 headsets, right? You know, so I mean, people always say that no matter what it is, whether you're talking about a Mercedes-Benz or you're talking about an expensive headset, whatever is the highest in its particular category, okay? The people that pay for that high price, they demand a high quality product. So my whole point, what I'm rambling about here is, I'm a little bit feeling better after Phil's comments of this thing is not going to be $299 with a coupon. This is supposed to be the elite gaming system for console folks, okay? You can't have your cake and eat it too in life, everybody, okay? This is just not that kind of world. I mean, a lot of the media will depict that you can have your cake and eat it too, but then when you get there, you're like, this isn't what they told me it was. My point being is that you have to pay a premium for a premium product, or you can be bamboozled into looking at something that says premium product, aka PS4 Pro. This is a premium product, but then you don't pay a lot and you don't get a lot. So would you rather be like, thank you very much, don't forget to tip your waitress? You know, I just want to let everybody know that, like, the whole point being is that, like, Phil coming out and saying that this is hypothetically going to be more. This is my number now. This is Mooch mathematics, okay? I'm saying that you're talking about, I'm looking at the Scorpio being $500. And personally, everyone in the audience that's hearing me say that and freaking out, don't freak out. It's not a bad thing. If they're putting quality components into the box, you're going to be a satisfied customer. If they put lesser quality into the box and get it out the door for $399, ultimately, at the end of the day, 12 months later, you don't remember the $100 that you already spent. You're going to remember that your product sucks. Like everybody right now that's looking down at their PS4 being like, yep, that shit sucks. Like, so just understand that what Phil's doing is he's covering his marketing rear end in one way. But number two, I was enlightened and I was like applauding the fact that he said that, because I don't want cheap shit in the box. Give me a quality, premium level console that we as console owners have been waiting for since eternity. We've been waiting forever for this, and now you're going to get it. So don't beg Phil to make the cheapest box. Don't complain about $100. Gaming's an expensive habit, and if you don't like it, then stop gaming or pick up a fucking phone and buy a 99-cent Pac-Man game. You know, I mean, so
yeah, I mean. You used to say, man, because people used to bring up Xbox Live, right, back when you needed it for stuff, and you're like, man, if you're that hard up where you're searching the couch cushions to make Xbox Live payments, then maybe you should find a new hobby. And, you know, I agree. I think that but I still think that, like Jez said, we'll see a $399 version. It might not be the one with the biggest hard drive or anything like that, but I still think we'll see a $399 version. And that could be trouble for Sony down the line. So I think Microsoft, all right, prices, because comes out and says, you know, we have a 6 teraflop console or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be 100% honest with what's or the actual amount. You know, so he's like, we've got enough to do 4K, and we can do this and this. You know, so I really like that. He's kind of left some stuff on the table, and he's also making Sony think, you know, because he's like, well, what it's going to be. And then I think some of the pricing stuff was maybe meant to swerve Sony a bit, because maybe Sony can't afford to drop the Pro to $349 next year. Maybe $399 is as low as they could go. And they put it that low because they thought Scorpio was going to be higher at launch. And it's a chess match, you know what I mean? They go back and forth, and I can understand that. And but there's a missing element here, Crap.
It's a chess match when you have equal sides, okay? Then it's like, okay, my wit versus your wit, right, in a chess match. But here, it's not equality, because Scorpio is going to curb stomp the Pro. So you have to understand that you're not talking about equal. You're not talking about two equal sides here. The Scorpio is going to come out with the latest Zen, Vega, this, that, DX12, the whole nut. It's going to give you the whole kit and caboodle. Everything we've been talking about for the past 3 years is all coming into this one condensed box. You can't expect it to be $399. I firmly don't believe it will be. And I'm okay with that. This is what I'm trying to say. You should be okay with $499. You should be okay with $499.
I'm okay with it.
Not you, Crap. I'm talking to the audience.
I am. Yeah. I just worry about other people that are gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are gonna be like us that, you know, they bought the Xbox One day one, they bought the S, and then they're gonna buy Scorpio as well. I don't know. I just feel like some people might think that's overkill. Some people might not be as keen to pay $4.99 again for this. You know, I mean, we don't know what the whole generations are. I think they should be a little bit clearer with that as well. Like, what going forward, is there a cutoff point where the OG Xbox One isn't going to get the games?
You're not going to hear that crap. I hate to say it, but you're not going to hear that because that puts fear into the consumer's heart. I think you will hear it, but you'll hear it 2 years into Scorpio. You're not going to hear it before it launches.
Yeah.
Right now they're saying there's no one left behind. He came out and said that. When Phil says that, he made sure that he's going to be able to reiterate that again in June. He will say that again this year. He'll say nobody gets left behind. He'll say that over and over again because as of today and basically the foreseeable future, nobody will get left behind. And when people bitch and complain like, that's not fair, you're going to be able to see more. Listen, it's very fair. All of these things are sold to the public. If you don't want one, that's fine. But if you do want a higher fidelity system, and when I say really higher fidelity, not this PS4 Pro bullshit, you go out, you purchase it, and the one thing people keep saying Microsoft is a software company. They're a software company. Then when you say, oh, UWP is going to be something fantastic, they're like, UWP ain't going to do shit. Well, wait a minute. It's not going to do shit, but Microsoft is a software company. You said it's the same person arguing it. You know what I mean? They don't make any sense. They have this thing in line on Windows 10 that basically it's been their plan all along for the past 5 to 10 years when they developed Windows 10 is they wanted everything on the same platform. It's something that consumers have been asking for a long time. They want to be able to say that if you buy a game on your phone, you can play it everywhere. If you're playing a game that's 4K 60, they want you to be able to play that now on your Scorpio or PC, and then it'll be downgraded slightly for your Xbox One S. That's just the way it is, and I think it's genius.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's take a call.
It is. Hey, we got an early morning call, and Wings, how you doing? Good morning. Yeah, talk to me. Who do we got there?
Sorry, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. Just give me one moment.
That's all right. While you're doing that, I'll let the audience know that we are now on iTunes, everybody. M&C Mornings is on iTunes. It is we currently have up our latest episodes. So be sure to check that out. Your wish is our command. And, you know, like I say, we also want to encourage people during the week. Jay's got some great how-to on iPhone and Android platform on how to get voicemails into us quick, easy. And you got a chance to win. I mean, anybody that called in over the past week has got a chance to win 12 months of Xbox Live. On top of that, you have a 1 in 10 chance of winning these, folks. I mean, come on. These are the best odds I think I've ever seen. So, you know, by all means, not just calling into the show, but leave some voicemails because I'll be honest with you. It's quick and it's easy. And I think it's a great way for you guys in the audience to not just sit there and listen to all these podcasts. You can actually be a part of one. And don't think your voice isn't heard. A lot of times your name will come up over and over again in other podcasts when you leave a hell of a voicemail. So, yeah, be part of the community. Be active.
We're back up and running, guys, so we're ready for another call.
We're ready. All right. So, Jay, do we have this caller still? Or do we have...
Dirk Wrigley here. Thanks for having me on again for another week. I have a comment and a question. I guess the comment I have is Xfinity is the biggest cable and internet provider in the company. And I don't know if you guys have Xfinity or if you guys heard that there's a data cap on their internet now, 1 terabyte. And that, I mean, and everybody knows to stream 4K, you know, takes a lot of data. So is that another, is that more proof that Sony fucked up not putting the, like the 4K Blu-ray player in the PS4 Pro? I mean, and that's what I thought when they sent me my bill. I said, what the hell is this? Hey, I'm like, damn, man, that's another reason they effed up. Well, anyway, my question is, do you think if the Scorpio wasn't announced, that Sony would have been playing this 4K game with the Pro? Because it kind of seems to me like they're trying to really promote 4K when they're really not capable of doing native 4K on most games. It seems like when the Scorpio was announced, they really got, oh shit, we're not going to have a PS5 anytime soon, so we have to really act like we're comparable to the Scorpio. So I don't know, like, what do you guys think? Thanks.
Well, Diggity, thanks for calling in. I'll answer that first, Crap. Basically, what he said was, Sony, if Scorpio wasn't announced, what would happen? Here's what I'm thinking. Sony was about to open up a hamburger stand, okay, and not use real beef, okay, not use real 4K. And the whole point behind that is until Microsoft called their bluff with Scorpio, basically Microsoft was like, oh, you're opening a hamburger stand without using real beef? We're opening up a butcher shop next door. So the whole point is that Microsoft Scorpio is calling their bluff, and it kind of puts Sony on the hot seat. So, I mean, that's my personal take on it. And now, Jay, I don't know if Crap is back yet. Crap's having some technical difficulties, so I'm going to help.
Is everything all right?
Yes. Crap, are you all right?
You were bonding a little bit.
Well, my internet is really bad right now. I'm not sure what the deal is, so I might have to reset it in a minute if it does start to bot or whatever. So that's what the problem was. It's my internet is really bad right now. I'm not sure what the deal is, but what was his question?
Well, basically, he was saying, what do you think Sony was really planning to do if Scorpio wasn't announced? What were they gonna? I was basically saying that they have an artificial 4K built into the box between checkerboard and this upscaling, which, of course, if I can remind everybody, remember 1080p was better than 900p, right? That was sacrilegious. So now the whole 4K native is no big deal anymore. Now checkerboard and this upscale 2 times, one to the TV, one to the box, is okay, thanks to Sony. What Diggity was kind of getting into was, he said, what if Scorpio wasn't announced? Let's say Phil didn't come out and talk about it. He just said, what do you think the outcome would have been? And I just said that it would have been Sony kind of running with this false prophecy that they have 4K because there was no other competition. But because Microsoft did that, they called their bluff. What's your take, Crap?
Yeah, they really cut them off before Sony could get a foothold like they did with the regular PS4. And I think that's very smart. What Phil did was really outthink Sony in terms of announcing Scorpio, but also announcing an upgraded Xbox One S that runs better, has a 4K Blu-ray player, and does things phenomenally well. They improved the controller. I have to say, I have an Elite controller, but I like the S controllers as well. They got a little bit more grip on them. They got a really good feel to them. You know what I mean? Like they upgraded their stuff, whereas the Pro, it's still just a PS4 controller. It still has the same issues with the light. It still has the same issues with running out of batteries too soon. So I think that Sony really wanted to have that narrative. And imagine if Microsoft didn't announce Scorpio, you would still have that problem where resolution would be a huge issue. And right now, I just don't think resolution's a huge issue for the fact that everybody knows Scorpio is coming. So you can't make resolution an issue now and then not make it an issue a year from now. Right. So they're trying to lay off the resolution issues already. So.
Yeah, I agree. And you got this guy in the chat here, Tommy knows, which he doesn't know shit. He says PS4 is 4K too. Tommy, it's really not. Yes, a couple of their old games will be native 4K, but those ones that can't even hit 1080p, 60 frames. So even PS3 titles like The Last of Us are having a hard time even at 1080p 60, let alone 4K 30. So it's a mess. It's a disaster. That box is awful. I recommend everybody that has a PS4 Pro to return it. Go get your vanilla back. I have my PS4 vanilla, and it works just as good as your Pro. And when you could say something like that, something's wrong. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not the audience's fault. Boy, I feel like I'm in Goodwill Hunting. Tell me, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, Will. But I don't know if anybody got that. But anyways, no, in all honesty, it's really not the consumer's fault. You were told it was going to be 4K everything, and unfortunately, it's 4K, not a lot at all. And your games are playing worse on the Pro. So my recommendation is go get your vanilla back. I've told Crap that on every podcast. I've told Zaire that. I know they'll hold on to their Pros, and I think everybody probably will. But you were promised something, and you're not getting it. That's all I'm saying. That's very, very unfair to the consumer. But yeah, if we have any other voicemails, or call-ins, pardon me.
No call-ins right now, but we have some voicemails.
Okay.
Crap might be. Crap,
hit us up with one of those voicemails.
Are you on delay, Crap?
No.
Oh, because I can hear there is a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, well, the problem is my internet is really bad right now for some reason. I'm not sure 100% why. I could try resetting it and see if that helps.
Nah, stick around.
But I would be gone for probably.
You're much clearer now.
Yeah, as long as it's not botting, then I should be okay. But the problem is there probably is a little bit of a delay. But other than that, yeah, if you guys have a voicemail, go ahead and rack that up.
Yeah,
Sure.
Jay, you want to play a voicemail?
Yeah, we've got a return call from last week's caller, Luca.
From the second floor.
From the second floor, yes.
Hey, Mooch, Crap, J-Dubs. This is Luca. I first called in last week. And after my call, you guys were wondering if I was a girl or not based on my voice. I am a girl, so I guess I'm part of that small demographic that Crap was talking about. Anyways, I was just wondering, who is your favorite game developer?
Ooh.
That's it for... Okay, let you guys get back to it. Have a nice morning. Bye.
Our demographic just went up, Crap. We went up 0.2%. That's fantastic. I'm excited.
We've got at least a good 4 females that listen to us now, so that's phenomenal. I'm thrilled.
Please spread the word to the other women out there that have consoles. Please, we'd like to have more females in the chat. But yeah, no.
Yes, supposedly, women game. So it's a little bit surprising that we don't have more people calling in. Maybe they're just not. Maybe they're shy.
It is 50%, right? They said 51% are supposed to be female gamers. Is that right? When they did a poll?
Yeah, it's something like it might even be more than 50%. So it's
although I wonder how much of that's mobile though. Because I know a lot of women play mobile games. They all, I mean, you go into any mall or any waiting room, or you're even at a restaurant waiting. Women are always playing like Bejeweled or Bedazzled or I don't know, whatever those things are. Or, they are. So I think that's a portion of it. I would love to see more women call in and be an active part of the show. It'd be awesome though. They get a different perspective. But yeah, I don't know if we Crap. What about Luca's question though? What's your favorite developer?
Man, right now I'm really digging the Coalition.
Yeah,
I like what they're doing.
Yeah, I think
they're not like for me. Yeah, the developer that can get a performance like that and a game that looks like that and runs as good as it does and has really good multiplayer and single player elements. Like that's what you want. You want everything, and they've done a really good job. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a harder time just picking one out from the box here. I mean, I almost want to say what I like what they've done is I almost like Insomniac. The reason I picked them is not only the great game that Sunset Overdrive was and is still, but they went ahead and I know Crap we give them a lot of shit, but they did make that one indie game for GameStop, right? When GameStop published it. And let's be honest, okay? It was an indie. It was no big deal. But it was fun. It was decent. My point being is I've seen Insomniac now come to the table a number of times with different challenges, and they keep on winning. They keep winning. So for some reason, I really like what I'm seeing from Insomniac. They were challenged to come out of the box and give us a different type of game that utilized Xbox One strengths. Mission accomplished. Whether people bought it or not initially, that's a different conversation. They went ahead and they got tasked to make the Ratchet and Clank remake, however you want to call it. Challenge accepted, won that. GameStop takes a chance being a publisher for the first time. They do a really good job on that indie game. Challenge accepted. And now I'm looking forward to what Insomniac's next thing is. I know it's going to be that Spider-Man game. They're probably going to do very well at it, and I'm hoping that they take on the challenge of Sunset Overdrive too.
Yeah, and now it looks like we've got a call, so let's go ahead and take that. M&C Mornings, how are you doing?
Pull up the Crap's window, please.
Hey guys, Mooch and Crap. Thompson from Germany. I was your very first caller, and I wanted to ask you about Sea of Thieves. What do you think about it? And in Germany, I can buy it right now for $30 as a retail version, but the download code is still full price. What do you think? How much it will be at the end? That's it. Bye.
So wait, he said he could buy Sea of Thieves for $30. I don't know if that's
something doesn't seem right about that. Yeah.
yeah. Something. Well, let's
that
answer,
doesn't sound legit.
let's answer his initial question, and then we'll get into probably. I think he maybe misspoke on that. You know, look, I'm gonna go ahead and be cautiously optimistic. Crap knows my stance on this. I think what they're showing as far as team building, the networking, and getting the whole pirate, you know, on a ship thing can be a lot of fun. And if you don't believe me, just any community game night you hop in, the fact that you're able to hang out and drink and be social with a bunch of people and maybe do that on a ship is pretty cool. However, I need to see more quests and objectives and character, not character definition, but, you know, basically where they're going to go with this once the ship is built and we're done throwing cannonballs at each other. You know, there's got to be more to it. So at this point, you'll always hear me say that I never boast that game because I just don't know what it is. And I'm not a huge, let's build a ship kind of person. I didn't really like Ark Survival. I didn't like a couple of the other types of games like that. So, you know, for me to just jump in and say, I can't wait to do the survival type, build a ship and roam the seas. I need to know what I'm doing when I'm roaming those seas. Crap, I know you have a different outlook on it.
Yeah, I love pirates. And for me, I love the SAS 4 based on the pirate aspect of the game. And so I really am looking forward to playing them. And you know me, I'm a multiplayer guy. So I'm really looking forward to the aspect of playing a pirate game, multiplayer with my friends, boarding other people's ships, blowing their ships up, you know, getting some swag, getting some treasure, going on some treasure hunts. You know, I'm looking forward to doing that kind of stuff. And they've really piqued my interest because I like Rare as a developer. I think what they're doing is something that's very phenomenal. They're not getting the credit for what they've done lately because they did a lot of Connect games prior to Sea of Thieves, but they're the now in Microsoft stable that's doing new IPs as far as we know, that, you know, the first party developers. So I applaud them for taking a risk. Everybody that's played it that we know, from Tim Dog to Southbound to Rand Outdoor, they've all loved the game. So I'm going to take that as high praise and say I'm very excited for it. I hope that I can get into the beta for it, and I'm very excited to see when it releases and everything it entails. I think they've been a little bit maybe too cautious with the story aspects. I would actually love to hear a little bit more about what you can do. Can you play it offline by yourself? I want to hear those types of things.
Yeah, so, I agree. I agree,
but I'm very excited.
I agree with you, Crap. I think what you just said is awesome. And for the first time ever, I want in on that beta because I got to see what's going on with this game.
Yeah, and now we have a call, probably somebody wanting to clear up that information, hopefully. I mean, how do you get Sea of Thieves for $30 already? I'd love to know. I don't know.
Yeah.
M&C Mornings, what's up?
All right. Hey, Mooch and Crapgamer, I had a question for you guys. I'm a YouTuber. My name is Aaron. You know me as my Gamertag Real Boys. I just wanted to know, you guys have any tips for up-and-coming YouTuber for gaming? That's all it is. Bye.
What, did you hear what he said, Jay?
I think
he wants to know if we have any. He wants to know if we have any tips for up-and-coming YouTubers.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
yeah. So,
well, go ahead, Crap. I can't steal your thunder. You have almost 30,000 subs. You're doing something right.
The main thing I would say is stay away from drama and stuff like that, because if you do drama videos, that's what people stick around. If you're doing gaming and talking about gaming, because there's a lot that you can cover. Like yesterday, I was able to do a rumor video based on something I had heard about the reveal date for the Xbox Scorpio, which I love doing those videos and, and breaking kind of news like that. Then I did a video about 4K TVs and which ones are best for the Xbox One S, and they're also affordable. And then in the evening, I did kind of a parody video, about interviewing a guy whose PlayStation 4 Pro burnt up. You know what I mean? So, and today could be, I could do a review video later today, and I'm doing a podcast morning show right now. So I think that it's just stick to gaming if that's what you do and that's what you want to do. Don't get caught up in, exposed videos or, getting drugged in, because people will try to steal your thunder, try to do whatever because of jealousy or whatever the reason. You know what I mean? And then, but once you do those kind of videos, nobody's going to want to stick around for your actual video gaming videos. They're only going to want to see the back and forth stuff, and you don't want to get caught into that. So, and also make sure you get some help. If you have a community, like the Xbox community is very good at helping and things like that. So, get some advice.
Isn't that what Jez was actually saying on Friday night, that, that's why everyone loves your shows, because you guys don't go into all the drama and stuff. And I think that's why a lot of people tune in, and they like the content.
I want to speak to that, Jay. Thank you. I appreciate what you just reiterated from Jez. I'll tell you right now, here's the thing. We don't give into it. There's a lot of neutrals out there and people that continue to do awful things behind the scenes to try and drag down not just me and Crap, but anybody in the Xbox community. There's people that want to bring you down. That's in anything in life, right? That's your career. That's in your job. It's even if you're good at playing basketball or hockey or soccer, there's always one player or someone that's trying to bring you down because you're doing your best out there. We don't give into it. We never mention their names, and we will never mention their names because we don't want to give them any publicity at all. It's kind of like in baseball games when something wacky or a streaker hits the field. You notice that Fox Sports and all these other major outlets don't pan over to give that person publicity because they don't want people doing that, because it's absolute lunacy. So in this case, we have lunacy sometimes that people try to do these miscellaneous things to sabotage you, but that's just jealousy in the YouTube world. The other thing I would give as recommendation as far as doing well for yourself in YouTube is consistency. I've said this on a number of different podcasts, and I'll say it again. Me and Crap have done Crossfire and Xbox Nation with thermometers reading 104. We've had temperatures, we've had sore throats, we're sitting here. Sometimes we're not having alcohol. We're actually having orange juice and Hall's cough drops. But you know what we do? We have a motto, me and Crap, unless it's something with family related issue where it's beyond our control. The show must always go on. That's our motto. That's something that I made very clear to Crap, and he just said, I totally agree with you. So my other thing is, whether you're doing really well on your YouTube channel or not right away, stick with it. Be consistent. Don't take a week off because you don't feel good or you're not feeling up to it. Your audience will let you know that if you're not up to it, they're not up to listening. So consistency is huge.
Yeah, consistency. And M&C Mornings, how can we help you?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Bring it on.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hello.
Good morning. Hey, Crap, I hope you feel better, man. About 3 weeks ago, I had that fucking flu. I'm down here in Deerfield. I know I told you guys that already. I think because we're so close to the ocean, I don't know, everyone here in Florida just gets sick whenever the weather changes, so I hope you feel better. Yeah, my one question statement type, I guess it would be, what the fuck is up with Jeff Keighley and this award, man? Like, I know we don't have a traditional VGAs, and I want to take this serious, man, but when the nominations, and it's so fucking ridiculous. How can gamers really look at this and feel like it's a representation of all the games that we love and we play? I understand that you have this new generation of people that love these weirdos and these indies, and I'm never knocking indies because there's a few of them for the year that I play that I think is awesome. But when you're gonna put a game like Forza in the same category as a fucking soccer cars, Mooch, it's just, how can I fucking take your award serious, man? Yeah. And I feel like we I don't think we should get mad about it. I think people just shouldn't support it, man, until we see something that we could get behind and follow. No one should watch that shit. And maybe if the ratings are pretty bad, they'll try to drastically change something next year. That's it. I hope you guys have a good day.
Well, that was a great call, and I'll tell you, I like his points. The only thing I want to tell the gentleman is Jay, if you have his name, please let me know. I couldn't hear his name.
Yeah, his name is Adrian Brown.
Adrian, my only thing I would say to you is two things. First of all, that show has had abysmal attendance and viewership since day one. So not watching it is not going to affect anything. Their viewership is almost at 0%. That's and I watch all the time because I'm actually a fan of the show. A lot of people have told me, Mooch, just don't watch it. I'm like, no, you have no idea how much I actually enjoy the fact that we have an awards ceremony for something that I love to do as a pastime. I think it's great that there actually is one. I think Jeff Keighley does everything right in the category of trying to keep that award ceremony alive, but he does everything wrong in the selection process for nominees that are voted to win particular categories. He needs help. I've actually reached out as a joke to a certain extent on Twitter to him. If you need help in any which way, and what am I? I'm just a guy on YouTube. But forget just me. Anybody, reach out and try to get somebody that can help you make this thing a little bit more credible. You can't tell me that 2 years in a row, everything is just Sony. Like most anticipated game last year, not only was it crowded with Sony games as the nominees, but then the winner was No Man's Sky, and look at how that ended up. I mean, we've got to stop with the nonsense and the hype and the bullshit that the gaming media pushes down your throat with Sony. You've got Digital Foundry. Shout out to a buddy of mine on Twitter. I'm trying to think of his name. Okay, it'll come to me in a second. But he said that even Digital Foundries is telling you, oh, well, it's not, the Pro's not that bad. You have to pick this. And if you look over in this corner, you can see 4K happening over here. It's almost like they're spot finding 4K, when you'll see it, when you won't. There's just a lot of manipulation going on, and the gaming awards, unfortunately, is also fallen victim to it. Look at the people who are presenting. Look at the people that are on the nominee voting. You have Kind of Funny Games, Greg Miller. Greg Miller, as much as I think Kind of Funny is a good YouTube channel as far as entertainment, they're completely 110% Sony based. You can't put those guys on there. You have to go with legitimate news sources, people who have no bias or as very little bias that we could find in their technical writing as possible. I apologize. I took the whole stage there, crap, but that one hits home for me. I apologize. Yeah. You can take the next one.
It's all good. M&C Mornings. How can we help you? Welcome to M&C Mornings.
Hey guys, this is Xbox One from Anaheim again. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the gaming beyond generations. I think a lot of people misunderstood what they were talking about. I think what they were talking about is that back in the day, the newer generation came and it was new games. There was no backwards compatibility and stuff. I think what they're talking about is you're going to get to keep your games. And as far as Scorpio, I think some people are going to left behind in some experiences, like, for example, VR or whatever, if they have any plans with like holographic gaming or something like that. I mean, certain experiences are going to be Scorpio exclusive, in my opinion. So I just got to keep that in mind. Anyway, guys, great show. Have a nice day.
Well, you know what? I think that the only exclusives on Scorpio at the beginning are going to be VR. I think they've been very clear about that, and I think that they have to be very concise with that. And I think it's a right move, because look at this. The original Xbox only lasted 4 years, right? It was a very good box, very powerful box. It lost them a lot of money because it was very expensive. Obviously, the 360 came in and just totally did a Hulk Hogan and started leg booting everybody, and you know what I mean, was really kicking the crap out of the competition. I don't care how it ended. Everybody knows the Xbox 360 was a de facto console last generation, and anybody with any kind of a brain knows that. It was the pop culture thing. Everybody said Xbox, 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 and with the Xbox One, it started off so rough, and then we get the Slim, and this thing is the console. If we could go back in time and just say there's not going to be upgraded PS4 Pro or a Scorpio, I would take the Slim every day, all day, over the PS4 base. I don't care if it's a little bit less powerful at all. It's better. It's much better. And the controller's better. Everything's about it. The games are better for it. It's a better looking console. It's got better services. It's just, it's got the 4K Blu-ray player. These are things that I like, and they've done a really good job with it. And for me, I just, I'm in love with the fact that I'm an Xbox fan. Like I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, I'm really happy as an Xbox fan. And a lot of people take that in a weird way. But the fact of the matter is, we're gamers. We're passionate about what we do. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're not out there hurting anybody. If somebody, likes playing pool or, chess, or they're on a softball team, they're passionate about those things. There's no difference. Or if you're a car guy, maybe you just go and relax and work on your Chevy or whatever for a little bit. I can understand that. So as far as what we do is just enjoy ourselves with gaming and things like that. I mean, Mooch, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to agree with what you said. I thought you spoke very well on the subject, to be honest with you. I mean, Microsoft has given us, I've always been a feature guy. I like the features. I like the snap. I like watching TV. You have no idea. All of you people that are listening that hate the Xbox brand, you have no idea how awesome it is to be able to enjoy. I enjoy Netflix. I enjoy cable TV, all streaming through my Xbox onto my television, yet I'm connected with the community. I get messages, I get invites. There's nights where I'm like, I'm not gaming tonight. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm tired, whatever, this and that. And all of a sudden, you watch an episode of something on HBO Go or on Netflix, or you're watching something on TV, and all of a sudden, just an invite pops up, and it's like, yo, we're playing Call of Duty, or yo, we're playing this, or yo, we're playing that. And it's like, you know what? Sure, I got a half an hour to kill. Let me pop in and see. And everyone's just laughing, having a good time. Or maybe it's a hot subject that's come up recently on the YouTube world, and everyone's just kind of commenting about it. My point being is that these are things you just don't get on the Sony platform, because Sony doesn't have that integration with TV. They don't have the HDMI in. So the problem is that, like, when your PS4 is off, it's off, and you're disconnected completely, right? And that's what we wanted in 2013, right? This is how you share a game. And this is, and they wanted to just have you completely segregated from real life. But I like Xbox and their brand and their quality of product, because it integrates your real life with your gaming life. And when the two come together, it's harmony. I think it's done very well.
I think so too. M&C Mornings, what's up? How you doing?
Okay. Hello, Mooch and Crap. Also, J-Dubs. It's me, Afi from Indonesia. I want to ask questions for you guys. Because it's in month we get new Star Wars movie. I want to ask you something. Do you play Jedi Outcast or Jedi Academy on OG Xbox or Xbox 360? I kind of forgot right now. I'm kind of nervous. I kind of like that game because it really combines the first-person shooters and the third-person lightsaber duel. What do you think? Do you like Star Wars? Do you like that game? And do you want that game to come back? Thank you.
Hey, Crap, I'm going to let you run away with this, because that's your wheelhouse. But I want to say thanks.
That's my power alley, and finally,
yeah, no, that's all you.
Yeah, my internet seems to have straightened itself out, thankfully.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Jedi Academy, great game. And I have it. I still have those games for my Xbox, right? Because that was at a time when, you would play with people like landlines, or you would do just local co-op or Xbox Live again. You know what I mean? Those were really fantastic jobs. Yes, I'm excited to see the new Star Wars movie. Maybe even more so than Episode 8. Like, I was a big person that said I liked Episode 8. I liked what they did, but at the end of the day, and spoiler alert, they just redid Episode 4. Like with the new cast and stuff.
You mean Episode 7?
Yeah, 7. My bad. 8 would be next year, but yeah, Episode 7. I liked it. And remember, Mooch, I told you, I was like, yeah, I liked it, but they soft rebooted the franchise, and I get that. You know what I mean? Some people weren't too hot on the prequels. I love the prequels, so for me, it was just like more. I liked it. I thought they did a damn good job with it. And this episode that's coming out this year is like one of the anthology movies, and so I'm excited to see. I guess it's sort of a prequel to the original trilogy, it happens before Episode 4. So I'm interested in that. You know what I mean? It looks good. Like, it looks like a good war movie, and they got Darth Vader in it, and James Earl Jones is doing the voice. So I'm excited for it. And the Star Wars games are always pretty good, except for some of the really earlier ones, like some of the, let me think. There was a fighting Star Wars game that sucked. There's a Super Bombad Racing. That's a terrible
Most
Star Wars
of it's pretty
game.
bad, actually.
Yeah. Well, no, I like the KOTORs and like
Yeah.
Jedi Academy and like even the Star Wars Episode 3 game. I really like that one a lot. So, you know, a lot of them just because they're Star Wars, I'll like them. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The reason I was very happy to lateral that question over to you is I have not played a lot of Star Wars. I don't play. I've never, not since I broke the age of 10, did I really get into movie games. They're generally not good. Now, Star Wars does break that mold. I think there was a couple of great Star Wars games on the SNES, right, that were just like pretty damn stellar. Can't remember their titles right now, but I played them. I owned them. I still have them. But I tend to, and like I said, I was praising Insomniac earlier. I think they're going to put together a quality game. My point with Insomniac earlier was that they're always up to the task. But that Spider-Man game that comes out in time for the movie or supposed to, it's going to suck. You know, I mean, they generally aren't that good. Like Battlefront, the latest Battlefront to me was beautiful, but again, that's where it begins and that's where it ends. You know, beauty's only the eye of the beholder. So, you know, it's only skin deep, like they say. So you can't just put a beautiful game out there and be like, have fun. Well, you can only look at it for so long until you're like, this isn't fun anymore. So I didn't play much of KOTOR back in the day. I have the OG Xbox sitting right here. It's no more than 8 feet in front of me right now in my office. You know, it's all hooked up, ready to go. I might even go grab that because I'd like to, you know, I've seen it, but I never really played it. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're due for another Star Wars game. Hopefully Battlefront 2 is much better than Battlefront.
Yeah,
you know, the latest one we got.
Absolutely. KOTOR is a really great game. I used to play that game every single year, even after the 360 came out. And then eventually I was just like, I hated tying 40 hours into a game that I couldn't get achievements on. And then the graphics started to look dated. And you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like a lot of people will say that, you know, but oh crap, you know, you always say you don't care about graphics. I always say I care about graphics. I'm not a big resolution guy,
right?
Because you couldn't really tell. Now I will say, having jumped to 4K, even the upscale stuff looks gorgeous from what I've played so far. You know, with the HDR and stuff, absolutely phenomenal. Like I'm sure if you even just have a regular 4K TV, that's a decent one, it's going to look good. You know what I mean? Your games are going to look damn good. So because again, not every game is HDR. So basically, if I'm playing like Call of Duty last night with you guys, you know, there's no HDR on that, but that game looked phenomenal, you know? So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's what I like to see going forward. But yeah, more Star Wars is always welcome. And they seem to have a tight group on that. EA is going to be doing some. So I guess we'll just.
I'm looking forward to more of Amy Hennig's Star Wars game.
Yeah, that one's another year out. So
yeah, I'll hold my breath, I guess.
AJ Dubs, we got a
voicemail.
A voicemail, do we? Do we have a voicemail? And who?
Of course we have. Yes, we have lots of voicemails. We have one from Maddie Beast.
Nice, Maddie Beast.
Hey, M&C Mornings, it's Maddie Beast. Calling in this week. I know this week is a big week for Xbox, 15-year anniversary. And today, the 17th, is also my anniversary with my wife. So 15 years for me and Mrs. Beast. Excited for it, ready to celebrate tonight. My question is, you know, 15 years, I wonder if each of you have like maybe a little like story or moment you can talk about, maybe a favorite gaming moment or favorite game or innovation or something that's come out of the last 15 years of gaming on Xbox. And I also have one other quick question. You know, the video game awards came out, and, you know, I know with the Oscars and Grammys, even the baseball all-star team, there's always some snubs. It always happens. So my question is also, what's the biggest snub from this year's VGAs? Take care, guys. Enjoy the show. We'll talk to you next week.
Well, happy anniversary, Maddie Beast.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate you being a kick-ass caller and always supporting us and things like that.
Yeah.
As far as gaming memories, I just think the first time that I got this beast of a console, and I was just like, the first time I played like Halo 1, I was just absolutely blown away by it, and I think that might be one of my best memories. And I also remember playing stuff like Brute Force and Project Gotham Racing and Munch's Odyssey, which I went back and played that and had a horrible time with it because I sucked at it. But yeah, it was still fun. And that was, you know, having a console that had a built-in hard drive blew my mind because I spent, I think, $30 or $40 when I bought my original Xbox new on a memory card because I didn't know. I was ignorant. You know what I mean? I mean, Mooch, isn't that something that you do, right? Like when you bought a PS2, you bought a memory card.
Absolutely.
When you bought a Dreamcast, you bought a memory card.
They went hand in hand.
Yeah, so I bought the Xbox and then blew money on buying a memory card that I'd never used.
Right.
So I think that was like something. It was like the innovation for me was that, and then also I used to play games on dial-up for a while. And then when I bought my original Xbox, it was like you had to get broadband because they didn't allow dial-up. And so from that point on, those were two things, like hard drive and broadband internet. And that made things so much better. And I haven't looked back since. I haven't had a console not connected since the Dreamcast. It might have been dial-up back then, but I've been connected since then. So, you know, I've been loving it, man. It's been great.
Well, you know, I've given a number of stories now. I've said the ones with Gears of War. I've had my BioShock story. We kind of went over on Xbox Nation and Crossfire. I kind of want to attack Maddie's second question, which was, which game do you think was snubbed? And easily, hands down, Maddie, the answer is Quantum Break. The fact that you don't put – listen, when you're talking about an awards show, okay, again, whether you're talking about Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, or even video game awards show, a lot of times you're talking about artistic talent. When you're talking about artistic talent, there's nobody in the world that's listening to this show that can't say artistically, whether you're talking about the writing or you're talking about the actual effects on screen. Quantum Break, hands down, broke the mold of what we've been playing for the past 10 to 12 years. There's been no game like it. And shame on the Video Game Awards for not noticing Quantum Break. That's a damn shame.
M&C Mornings, how can we help you? What's up? Yellow.
Hey, Mooch and Crap, it's Arnold. Hey, it's Arnold. I'm calling from West Virginia. I just had a question for Mooch and Crap. I was wondering if you elaborate a little more on Xbox and the Scorpio. They're supposed to be running the same, but the Xbox is supposed to, Scorpio is supposed to be just a little bit better. It's supposed to upscale. People say they can't really understand how that works. Can you explain how the lesser one can still compete with the higher end one? Y'all doing a great job. Thank you. Bye.
Well, you know, part of the time on this show, I have to become a private investigator to figure out the pieces of these questions. It's like it's worse.
Something about Scorpio and competing with something. And
I think it was
banjos. Yeah. And then I heard, So what did you get from that?
What I got basically, and I could be dead wrong, was he was trying to say, I think, how will they bridge the gap between the Scorpio and the current Xbox One S, and how will gamers be able to, you know, the what do they call it, the year-long question of just how will these two boxes that are supposed to be working in harmony collaborate together and not leave anybody behind. And if I did that injustice, our buddy from West Virginia, I apologize. I just your internet was a bit spotty. The call didn't come through as clear. So Crap, do you see where I'm going with that? Like, I think he's basically saying, you know, how is it that people with a Scorpio can, you know, play hand in hand with people on an Xbox One S?
Well, basically what they do is the single player experience could be much better, like a higher frame rate or better graphical fidelity and things like that. When it comes to the multiplayer, everything's going to be scaled back so that it's equal, so that there's no advantage. Right. But I will say that most things that we run now, multiplayer-wise, are 60 frames. You know, Halo, Gears, you know what I mean? Those are both 60 frames. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Battlefront. Everything they push for 60 frames anyway. So, you know, you're not really going to have to – not a lot's going to change, you know? Like, you're still going to have – an experience where you're not really going to have an advantage and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to spend money on a Scorpio, I'm happy that I'm going to get probably a better looking single player aspect.
Right.
And then the multiplayer, I don't want really like an unfair advantage, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I use the Elite controller, but I don't really look at that as an advantage. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, it's just, for me, it's comfortable. I like the weight of it. I think that's the thing most of all that I like about it.
Yeah.
Is just the weight of that thing is, you know, I love it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's so much. It's comfortable. It just takes me back to kind of like the Duke, because that thing was like this big heavy controller that I used to really do good with. So
you know, Crap, I'm only going to go back to another call. Maddie's question kind of is still causing a lot of good conversation.
The quantum
break.
break.
Well, listen. Here's my thing. I want to say this. You know how you always say, Crap, on other shows you're on. You're like, I want to say this now, and we'll see if it comes true. You know that game that's supposed to come out this year in 2017? Not this year, next year, 2017, for PlayStation called is it Detroit? Or whatever that is, it's
Detroit Becoming Human or something like
that. You wait and see if that comes out sometime in 2017. You wait and see how many artistic categories it enters at the VGAs next year, the TGAs. Wait and see. You're going to get voice acting. You're going to get biggest surprise or whatever the category will be. It's going to win because Detroit is going to be an artistic game that tells a story, right? And Quantum Break did all of that and then threw third-person action into it like no other, with freezing time, seeing different mechanics and physics take place in a video game. The game was downright stunning. I don't give a shit what they used. Now the checkerboard's okay. Now I can say it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
So my point being is that everyone in the chat that wants Quantum Break, let me tell you something. You have every right to be a little pissed off or a little bit scratching your head being like, what the hell happened here? What happened is it's the media bias coming through again. And listen, I'm going to be watching the Game Awards, but just keep in mind, it's not the Game Awards. It's the Sony Game Awards. So just sit back, enjoy the games on the rival platform, and, take it for what it is, because that's all it is. You're not going to see Microsoft's going to win some kind of like musical category. Like, the orchestra in Gears of War 4 was stellar. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And apparently it's held at the Microsoft Theater or something like that this year. That's kind of ironic, don't you think?
It's a backhanded slap to the face is what it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, Quantum Break should have been in the best narrative. I get it. It wasn't going to be game of the year because it wasn't rated high enough. But, it should definitely been in the best narrative, or like I think there was one for like innovation or something like that. So I think that it is a bit of a misstep that it's not in there at all, and and Gears 4 seems like it was only given a token ticket. You know what I mean? Like, here's your best multiplayer, which it'll never win, even though it does have the best multiplayer. And then best adventure or best action game or whatever, it won't win that either. It's
Invader says we should have a Mooch and Crap Awards. Maybe we should have one the day before and just do a whole. We'd really have to channel J Dubs' strengths. We could do an award show.
We could have people call in and vote.
That's right. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Maybe it's something we can.
Jay's shaking his head right now, like, oh my god.
Jay's
that sounds fun. That really sounds fun.
Yeah, I think it would be great, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, BGST, we always do our awards. She-Wolf and GKB, they're doing theirs. It looked pretty cool. So I think we should do one too.
We should do one.
Yeah, and we should like take calls on it when we do it, like next week or whatever. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna go. We'll send an invite out to Lady Foxfire to be our. She'll be our, like, when we go to open up the envelope. She'll be the one that will have a recording of her with all the readings of the nominees.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Would be great.
Hey, Jay, do we have?
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a cool thing to have everyone have all of our friends and in the community members actually give the awards, like do the presentations? That'd be really cool.
That would be really great if we can get Mark Cerny and Yoshida to call in to give away a few Microsoft awards.
I can't see how that would be a problem. Maybe I'll reach out to those guys.
Yeah, let them know. Let your people, let their people know, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and here we have a voicemail.
We have a very emotional voicemail here.
Oh wow,
very emotional one. So let's hear it.
Hey Mooch, hey Crap. It's Tony, the former pony here, aka Princess 448. I just want to ring up and firstly apologize on this voicemail. You know, being a bit of a nasty one time to time, but what I really want to talk to you about is earlier this week I went and traded in my PS4 Pro, and I got about $5 for that unit. And I actually bought myself a Xbox One S. Yeah, that's right. I admit defeat. You know, I actually thought Sony were on track, you know, and the PS4 Pro was going to be the saving grace, but turns out they're off the fucking rails. And I'd be fucked if I'm waiting for a PS5 because, I mean, that thing probably won't even exist the way Sony traveling. So anyway, the good news is that I can change my gamer tag now. I don't have to be Princess 448. Oh, my sister's old gamer tag I couldn't change on the PS Network. So that's a positive, you know. And the other thing is too that all the games I buy now for my Xbox One S, I'll be able to take with me to Scorpio, and they'll be, you know, running at 60 frames, you know, 4K most likely, the way that thing's spec'd up to the hill. So anyway, I just want to say that I'm glad to be part of the family. Oh my God, bye.
That was great.
Crap in the morning, practicing healing through humor, including the use of parody and hyperbolic statements pulled from their collective backsides. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, that reminds me of yesterday. Remember?
What happened? I do remember something.
We were joking around about doing drops, right?
Yes.
And She-Wolf was complaining because I was being, I guess, like a stickler with the direction.
Yes.
Because I would like, okay, record this for me. And then I was like, okay, well, you're saying this too fast, so slow that part down and then do this. And then she sent me that ha 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 thing as a joke, and I edited it into the drop anyway, right?
That's great.
Oh, yeah. And then you were like, yeah, we've got to get you to do another drop. And you're like, I'm serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. She was like, I'm not gonna do it. I was like, no. We actually need you to do another one. So
yeah, because we were trying to get her.
Show up to the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, please. No, yeah, we need a couple more drops. We've got a couple. I think that the audience is really gonna like in the upcoming future. We've got another YouTuber on board to do a great drop. I'm gonna wait I'm gonna reserve crap to mention who it is until we actually do it, because it's
definitely
fantastic.
They're celebrity, you could say.
Yes, they are a celebrity, and if they aren't, they will be after that drop.
Yes, absolutely. She-Wolf says she's on strike.
Oh, no. This is not Canada. You cannot do that.
Yeah, so, yeah, like that was funny because we were talking about that last night, and she was getting kind of grumpy about it. And we were like, yeah, we also need to get Fox to do one as well because, you know, when you have women do those things, it sounds much better.
Well, it's much better, and it's also, it seems to just come off more credible.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And we're all about the credibility here.
Credibility, folks. Credibility,
yeah,
okay?
We're 100% credible, and yeah, shout out. Hey, Foxfire's in there too. She wasn't playing no Call of Duty with us. She was in the chat, but she was good for us.
She-Wolf makes a great point. She said, if the voice actors can go on strike, why can't she? You know, that's a great point. I got to tell you the truth. You know, thanks for bringing that up, She-Wolf. Those goddamn voice actors are at it again, folks.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, do me a favor, okay? I think it was Janis Joplin that did it. I want everybody in the audience to go out today, buy a fifth of Jack Daniels, go and scream your head off, take a couple swigs of that, and then send in your best voice acting attempt at anything and send it to Ubisoft and all the other big wigs. I'm pretty sure you can get hired. You know, there's some talent to it. There's no doubt that there's some talent to it. Some games actually do have award type of winning writing that's going on from some of the greats in Hollywood, aka Quantum Break, that had some amazing writing. Sam Lake spends most of his life like Johnny Depp in Secret Window. He just writes in a cabin. And I'm not joking. If you follow Sam Lake on Twitter, that's what he does for recreation, is he writes. A true writer. And of course, there's no Quantum Break anywhere in sight at the Video Game Awards again. Thanks, Jeff. But yeah, nonetheless, so my whole thing, crap, has been this. I'm just waiting for somebody. I've gotten some fantastic compliments saying, "Oh, Mooch, you should do morning radio. You should do this. You should do that." I'm like, I'm waiting for someone to come and give me the opportunity, even if it's a 5-second death scene in a video game, just to go out there. And you know what I want to be compensated? Nothing. If you want to give me something as a parting gift, give me the game. Give me a code for the game when I leave. Be like, here, when this is active, there's your free game. I don't want any money for it because I think that it's a hell of a. It would be an honor to be in it, and I think there's plenty of talent out there. Look at the people that show up for The Voice or America's Got Talent or back in the day American Idol. These are people that were making coffee, okay, pouring gas at a gas station for you into your car. And they were so grateful to win that award and to get that. These people, these Nolan Norths and Troy Bakers and all these other nonsense, these voice actors, we want more. We want more. You have to do more, okay? You can't do 3 games a year and then, be like, we want more. We want more. You're expendable. There's very few. There's a couple voices, right? Marcus Phoenix, Master Chief, maybe Nathan Drake. But for the most part, you're expendable as far as I'm concerned.
Just look at the guy that played Solid Snake. I mean, he played him in all the games, and then all of a sudden he's out and Kiefer Sutherland's in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you are kind of expendable if you think about it. And here's the thing, like, yeah, Marcus Phoenix, that'd be a tough one to replace.
Yeah, there's a few that are hard to replace, right, Crap? But I mean, in all honesty, these guys, who the hell are you? That's the first thing I say at a board meeting where they were asking for more. I'm like, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm looking through here. What's your name again? Like, who are you? Why do I have to give you more? You're making a lot. You're making a lot, and you're having fun. Hey, can you get a better job than that? Do you see these guys when they're doing the behind the scenes? They're all laughing, and I wouldn't even be surprised if sometimes they're drinking. Like, you know what I mean? They're having a good time. I mean, I go to work. You have budget meetings and this and that. You're responsible for unbelievable amounts of money, and if you're a project manager and anything, we don't get to do any of that stuff. These guys are making what like people like hardworking Americans are making. They want more money. Get out of here. The game industry is already having a hard time making profit, as we say all the time. And these guys are like supposed to be pro gamer and they want more money. Listen, I got news for you. Go do something else and let somebody who really wants to help the game succeed. There's a lot of great talent out there. Do an American Idol. Ubisoft or Activision, do an American Idol version for people to come up, put a headset on in the studio and do a run through and see how much you probably get people for minimum wage, and they're better.
Yeah, so, I mean, I agree 100%. And but I do want to take another voicemail before.
Sorry, that's one of my rants. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh no. I love the Mooch rants, man. That's they keep me going on Wednesdays. I was like, please. I was like, please let Mooch go on a couple of rants. My voice was dead. I was like, come on, just rant. And
I think crap. You threw some flame on the fire just so it keeps going.
Yeah, exactly. And then on Crossfire, I was like, I drank like half a thing of NyQuil. I was on the floor.
You were like, I'd like to comment right now, but I'm horizontal.
Yeah, I'm on the floor. And then like Jez was so drunk, it was just the funniest damn thing ever. So I was like, man, thank goodness.
I thought it was great, and I want to reiterate, it was awesome. Shout out to Mike Ibarra. Mike was listening to the show because right when Jez was on his 9th mention of his whiskey, he's like, Mike Ibarra tweets out, Jez is drunk.
Yeah,
he's like, so that's just awesome. The community is tight-laced, man. We are a tight community. Ignore what the haters and neutrals say. We are passionate about Xbox. Everybody in the chat is passionate about Xbox. And, the Microsoft executives, we are critical, but in a positive light. And they know that, and they know we care. And they also know that our brand loyalty is head and shoulders over many others. So thanks to the executives for listening too.
Absolutely. And Jay, so we have a voicemail. Who we got? Who we got backed up?
We have Fizak.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey, good morning, guys. This is Fizak from Xbox Live. Love the show. Thanks for taking my call. What's the correlation? This is an interesting question, I think. What's the correlation between Forza, Halo, and Gears? I know they're great games, but what do they represent? How do they represent Xbox? What makes a gamer that likes these games different from other gamers? What makes an Xbox gamer? I just wanted to know your opinions about that. I miss Blazing Phoenix. He was an amazing person to listen to in podcasts. If you haven't listened to, I'm talking to the viewers here. If anyone hasn't listened to Blazing Phoenix, his YouTube channel is great. I just wanted to ask if he could possibly go on one of you guys' podcasts for the upcoming week. I think that would be fantastic. Also, I wanted to call Zaire out. He likes to call Mooch and everyone wealthy bastard and this and that, but just by the amount of 4K TVs he's purchased, and now he bought the PS4 Pro, and all the headsets, those are just hanging on his wall. I think he's the wealthy bastard and all of it, all that. So I just wanted to call him out, but I love him. The great work, guys, and I'd like to make myself eligible for any Xbox Live memberships that you may have.
Hey, well, first of all, Zaire gets those, he gets all that stuff because they fall off the trucks. I mean, he's lucky. I don't know what the deal is, but apparently there's a lot of stuff falling off trucks around him. So
it's the 4K embassy.
Yes, so that's where he gets a lot of that stuff. For the other stuff, Mooch, what did you think about the other stuff that he was talking about?
Well, let me start with, before we get to his first question, I want to do a tribute as well to Blazing Phoenix. Let me tell you something.
Keep it Xbox.
Keep it Xbox. Blazing, I hope you're listening to this. If not, I hope someone sends it to you because I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I really wish you would come back to YouTube. People love Mooch rants. People love when I go off on a tangent, but I would find it very hard to hold a candle to Blazing Phoenix. That man got on, hit the start broadcast button, and he talked to the camera for anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes, sometimes twice a week. And when I say he didn't even take a stop to sip a glass of water, he can talk. That man can talk more than anyone I've ever met. And you know what? He was interesting.
Yeah.
He was very good at what he spoke of. He's a true gamer. He's owned everything. I don't even want to know how much money he spent on gaming in his life. So if Blazing's listening, we hope you come back, man. And, even if it's just once a week with a Blazing Phoenix report, let me tell you something. I'm still subbed to your channel. I hope to God you do come back, man. You're a great talent, and we miss you, bro.
He used to do Xbox Nation, and then he actually interviewed Seamus Blackley with me in Iron Wolf. So he has a very good knowledge of gaming. He's gamed on everything, but he likes, like an intelligent gamer would. You like the platform that has the games, So that's why he's such an Xbox fan right now. And he's really a good, talented guy, and he did go on those rants and stuff like that. And he was one of those guys that, like, early on, like, would stick up for me and stuff like that, which meant a lot. You know what I mean? Because early on, people really were trying to bury me, and he was one of those guys that's like, Crap's a good guy. He's funny. He jokes a lot. Like, a lot of people don't understand what jokes are these days. They're just jokes. You know what I mean? Like, it's entertainment. It's fun. And he was one of those guys that got that. Cool guy. And hopefully he does come back and does YouTube again, because we need more characters like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And getting to a gentleman's call about Gears, Halo, and Forza, more than what does it make for an Xbox gamer? Let me just kind of twist the words a little bit and just change it to how I think I can answer the question. Gears, Forza, and Halo kind of hit home to three different types of gamers, and those are large categories, large genres. Okay, you've got a third-person shooter, a first-person shooter, and a driver. Those types of games hit home, and if you just did a poll of people and said, what kind of gamer are you? Third-person, first-person shooter, sports is another category that's very big too. But those three are huge, and Microsoft, they have the crown in all three of those for the most part. I mean, people will say that Gears is probably a smidgen under Uncharted. Fine. I mean, I guess I can't argue with that because numbers would argue against me. Uncharted, but I enjoy Uncharted, so I'm not going to say that I don't. I think that Microsoft strategically has those three genres on lockdown, though. And I think that's what correlates with the Xbox fans. So when people are like, you only play Gears, Forza, and Halo? Well, not only do I play those, but probably 90% of gamers. There's a lot of gamers that just play Call of Duty and Madden, right, that take up a lot of console sale numbers. Yeah. but you can't belittle those people. That's what they like to play. I'm not going to say if you just play Destiny. I have very close friends of mine that only play Destiny. That's all they play. They're at 2,500 hours. I mean, that's not, you don't do that in one night. I mean, 2,500 hours played, maybe more now. And they like it. Do I give them a little shit? Sure, it's office talk. You know what I mean? We bullshit a little bit, but in all honesty, like that's what they like. So that's what they like. That's what they like. So I think that Microsoft was smart in lining up those three types of games because those are huge masses of people in each of those genres.
Yeah, you know, I agree. For me, I know a lot of people are always bring up the Forza Gears Halo thing. I buy Xbox for those games, and then the other stuff is just kind of a bonus. I'd be pissed off. Like, that's why I'm upset as a PlayStation owner that they take so long to get their main franchises out there. You know what I mean? Like, you buy these things for those main franchises. That's why, like, I can understand some of the hate for the Wii U. Like, they didn't get a Metroid game out that whole life cycle, which is ridiculous to me. You know what I mean? Like, how can you not get a new Zelda yet? You know, like, how can you not do that? How has there not been a God of War yet? And we're going, you know, into year 4. How come Gran Turismo isn't out yet? You know, I don't understand these things. Phil doesn't put up with that shit. And what happens when you do delay and you're not on time? You get your ass closed down.
Yeah.
Just like Lionhead. I mean, I remember being upset about it at first, and you were the one that was like, well, it's a business. What was their last game? And I'm like, Fable 3 in 2010.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've been eating, you know, everything they've done since then is
isn't it
basically a waste of
That's
money.
what it is, crap. They've been sitting there off the Microsoft food chain. You know what I mean? Everyone's getting paid lunches and a smorgasbord of bagels every morning. That's for 6 years and no product.
Exactly. So M&C Mornings, what's up?
All right. Hello, I'm Mooch and Crapgamer. It's BZTX Toxics from Xbox Live. It's been a while since I last called. It was probably like episode 2, I think. And happy anniversary to Xbox. And I have 2 questions, specifically about Forza and Halo. The first question is, not everyone loves Forza Horizon and Motorsport, but do you expect or think that they could ever make a full-on like street race version for Forza to kind of compete with Need for Speed? And are you surprised that 343 are not going to be making a Halo 3 anniversary, since we've already got it on the Master Chief Collection? But do you think the reason why they're not doing that is because they might possibly remaster Halo Reach? Thank you.
That's good. I like that last part. I mean, go ahead, Crap. Take it away.
Well, Halo 3 anniversary thing, that's a bit of a blow. I know Xbot probably hates that. You know, I wish. Yeah. Like, I was kind of hoping for that just because I thought it would have been an interesting pack-in with Scorpio. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like, as far as like a Burnout game or something like that, I think the Horizon series handles the arcade type stuff. You know, I don't know how many more they could fit in there, you know, as far as different genres of that franchise. You know what I mean? You don't want to oversaturate it. So like, I personally prefer the Horizon series now, but I like the Motorsport series as well. Yeah. But I just think that the Horizon series really kind of knocks it out of the park lately. And you know,
I'm not a car enthusiast, so Horizon is just a fantastic way for me to enjoy some of the car genre. Because it's just I'm just not a gearhead like that. I mean, you know, I'm using the wrong word. Gearhead is actually, in real life terms, gearhead and place. You know, and Xbox is
you're a Gears of War fan. Yeah.
So I mean, but I'm not a car enthusiast. So the Forza 6 Motorsport, you know, that's the simulator, is fantastic. I think they have no competition at all. People would say that Gran Turismo circa 6 years ago. But not Gran Turismo now as it stands, and Gran Turismo Sport's going to be a disaster.
I personally missed the Burnout series. I wish they would bring that back. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Paradise, but the games before that were awesome. I think they need to bring back a game with a lot of big crashes. You know, like if they could combine something like a Forza Horizon and a Burnout together with big crashes and big stunts, because they're already doing the stunts, right?
Yes.
think that would be amazing.
We should talk about what Lace Chucks just said. Josh Holmes is leaving 343, and he wanted to know what you thought. Crap, you had a couple of things to talk about last night, community game night, and you've been pretty vocal this past week.
Yeah, Josh Holmes, he was a guy. He did a game called Star Wars Republic Commando back in the day, which was like sort of played like Halo, and you had that 3 group with you, and you could like boss them around and they helped you out and stuff. And he brought that element to Halo 5, which I really liked. And so a lot of people are like, well, what's going on with that? So he left 343 to go do indie games, which is weird to me, I guess. You know what I mean? But again, I would assume that working and doing a quadruple A game like Halo, and you're on such time constraints, and, you know, I can understand how that would be stressful.
He's not, first of all, Crap, you have to let everyone know. Some people in the chat are confused. Protus X, he's not the head of 343.
Yeah, he's the multiplayer head.
He's the multiplayer lead. Here's the thing, though. So the multiplayer in Halo 5 is pretty much bar none, right? The top, the creme de la creme of multiplayer.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, it's almost like when you get, you know, one of your favorite cooks on the cooking network to leave the recipe. Listen, he left his recipe for success, okay? They have that. It's Microsoft's intellectual property at this point. So with him leaving, you know, yeah, granted, when somebody says, well, I can make the same pie as that person with their ingredients, it'll never be exactly the same, but it'll be pretty goddamn close. So I would say to Josh, you know, I'm sad to see him go, and why he would leave for indie games. We talked about it last night in community game night. My answer was he's made enough money in his career to where now he wants to go do something where he can show up to work at 11 o'clock in the morning, go surf for a couple hours. You know, it's what California people do for lunch. And then they, you know, get back at 1 o'clock and, you know, zinger. You know, they wear shorts to work. You know, can't do those things on the East Coast. Sorry, guys. You walk down Wall Street at any point in time and tell me how many people are wearing shorts that are making millions of dollars. Very few. So anyways, but, you know, he wants to lay low. He's made a lot of money. Maybe he's retiring at 45. He can just make a simple game that goes out and sells 1 million on a phone. What does he care? You know what I mean? He's made his money, and I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. That's, you know, if he was leaving 343 to go work for Naughty Dog, that's a sharp one to take. But he's leaving 343 to go make, you know, Flappy Birds 2. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it's an irrelevant thing at this point. Like, you know, cheers to him. Thank you for leaving that amazing multiplayer guideline handbook that he left 343. You know, 343 has his work all written down, all the codes there. He's not taking it with him.
Yeah.
So everything that he did in his direction is intact at Microsoft. Crap, would you really be upset if Halo 6 had a stunning Scorpio backdrop, a great story to tie in this whole Master Chief searching for Cortana, the evil Cortana, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff going on, and then the multiplayer was just status quo, the same as 5 with a little bit more? No, you'd be tickled pink. So
and you know what? Like, it's not like he was like came up with all the ideas himself. You know, it's a team effort. So, you know what I mean? So I think that it'll be fine. Halo's in good hands.
Yeah.
They need to focus on doing a better single player campaign for the next one, and keep a lot of the elements like the free maps and stuff like that for Halo 6, and I think they'll be fine going forward. You know what I mean?
Right. You know, Crap, you know, another thing with my California comment real quick. So a lot of people that are doing reviews of Watch Dogs 2, which takes place in San Francisco, one of the things that people are saying is how realistic it is to what San Francisco looks like and how people act out there. That's not a good thing, people. So I'm actually going to be buying Watch Dogs 2 at some point in time this holiday season, just so I can experience I can do a little bit of research on what the San Franciscans act like out there. You know, like I said, a lot of my friends live in San Francisco. Shout out to a lot of those guys that all went out there because, I mean, they're all in the tech world and that's what they do. And, you know, they have, when I go out there sometimes, they're like, you know, they're like, you're still a little too hard out there on the East Coast. And I'm like, you guys got a little too soft out there. But it is fun to hang out with them because they do, when you're out there in California, you go hang out in San Francisco for a week. And at some point or another, maybe when the wine's pouring like mad, you're just like, hey, take it easy, bruh. Things are great. So, I mean, it does it just happen, bruh. It's all bruh, and I don't know what I'm doing. Don't worry about it. Tomorrow's another day. As long as the sun rises, I got mine, you got yours. You know, it's a lot of that stuff, and that's great. But then, you know, then what happens is a lot of us New Yorkers have to fly back to reality over here and go to fucking work at 7 in the morning. But yeah, nonetheless, it was really funny when I saw a lot of people saying that in the chat about California and this and that. So yeah, check out. I think Watch Dogs 2. Although Rand was saying last night that his opinion on the game is kind of dropped, and I take Rand's opinions pretty seriously when it comes to reviews. I like the way he breaks shit down. And he said that his review on Crossfire was fairly positive of Watch Dogs 2. He says it's still on the positive end, but he said that because the story and the side missions kind of go all over the place, if you're looking for a fun game, it's something to buy. If you're looking for something that really the narrative holds tight throughout the whole campaign, it's a little wishy-washy. And of course, the multiplayer is still not working well. So, but that's a Ubisoft game for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is. Like, I think he gave it a 7. He's like, I give it a solid 7.
Yeah, I think he said 7 or 7.5 is what he would give it. I don't know if I think he would still hold to that. I don't know if he would drop it any more than that, but.
Yeah. So, so do we have a voicemail from a celebrity type person, Jay?
Yes, we do.
Oh, great.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Oh, hi, everybody. This is Yoshida. I am calling to win free code. What a surprise there. Also, I wanted to know if you have gotten the message that I congratulate Xbox for the 15 year of service and Xbox happiness and all that gibberish. What? You guys did not get message? Oh crap! Hold on, Sean Murray. Hold on. Sean Murray was supposed to deliver that message. Hold on, Sean Murray, get over here. Hold on, I gotta kick Sean Murray's ass real quick. Okay, I'm sorry. Sean Murray, go in closet or something and try not to lie on the way there. Okay, Mooch and Crap, I'm sorry about all this. Yoshida just wants to know how to get an MC Morning coffee mug so I can smash it over Sean Murray's fucking head. Okay, that's about it. Have a good day.
You're listening to M&C in the Mornings. As always, remember, you can't take anything they say seriously. It's just jokes. Jokes performed by YouTube professionals, and usually the joke's on them.
We're just blessed to have the great Yoshida call us once a week.
He sounds like he had some sake, strong sake. You know?
Yeah, I also like the kung fu sound effects. That was interesting as well.
He's like, man, Sean, is that where Sean Murray is?
Yes.
Like this whole time we're wondering where Sean Murray is. It looks like Yoshida's got him locked away for a little bit. Or whatever.
Sounds like he's because of the failure of No Man's Sky. Sean Murray is now Yoshida's butler. So
yeah, absolutely.
Like it's not working out very well for him.
Hey, and for those listening, hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Let's try and get it to 200 by the end of the show. Let's rack those likes up, folks.
Yeah, rack those likes up, people. And like I say, subscribe to Crap in my channel. You know, show a little TLC because, actually, I'm going to have a sidebar meeting with Jay this week. We have a few drops that I want to get recorded to add some new flavor to the show. Like I said, we try to do something new every week here. And I think next week you'll see some of that. And I'm also going to be doing a little bit I'm trying to get a couple of Mooch reviews out this week. A couple you'll be surprised by, so.
Oh, nice. Get some of that Mooch review. What you need is a grown-up gaming. You know what?
I do need a grown-up gaming.
I used to do this. And then,
and then go off on a rant. It was a very, between Jay's artistic ability in making the show so lively, it was very much like a Dennis Miller rant, if you will, back in the day. So,
or the Mooch's minute that would take like 8 minutes.
Yeah. It was so funny. The first time Jay said that, I was like, Jay, can we make it 2 minutes? And he's like, no. It has to be 1 minute. So I sent him a minute and a half. I think he tried to edit it down. We made it. The first two made it a minute. I will get a couple more. I've actually been writing quite a bit, and I have a few things to talk about this week. So as long as Jay can fit me in the schedule within the next week or two, maybe we can get some growing up gamings and Mooch Minute out there.
Yeah, we can fit that in.
I appreciate that, Jay. Thank you.
And absolutely. So, hey, how many more voicemails do we have, Jay? We at least got one more, right?
Oh, I think we have more than that.
Yeah, one more. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and rack up one more right now.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from a friend of the community, All Day. He does a podcast with Zaire.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I know All Day.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Good morning, guys. This is All Day Digital, and I got a quick question. do you guys feel like Microsoft is slacking on the HDR content? You feel like they'll pick it up towards the end of the year and summer next, or do you feel like they'll just wait for Scorpio and blow everything else out the water? Sony has a lot of HDR supported games right now, so I'm just wondering if Microsoft's going to counteract to that. Love the show. Peace, guys.
You want to take that one away, Crap?
Yeah,
That's usually
okay.
your wheelhouse.
Microsoft is their first party stuff is going to all have HDR going forward. I don't really look at that as them slacking. What happens is the third party stuff, because Sony is the market leader right now, it seems like they're getting first dibs on all that stuff, which I mean, you can understand, I guess, a little bit, but if something's HDR on the PlayStation 4, then it should, in theory, be HDR on Xbox One as well, or Xbox One S. Sadly, only right now, I think there's 5 games on Xbox One that has HDR, and 2 of them are exclusives, and I think World of Tanks is going to get a patch or something, but it is a bit disappointing. But I do think going forward, like, that was why I was excited. I know a lot of people were like, haha, crap, PS4 Pro has HDR now too, and I was like, good. And the reason why that's good is because you want developers to use it for both. If only Xbox had HDR, the chance of that being widely used is slim and none, and Slim walked out the damn door.
Yeah.
So now that both use it, it should be easier just to program it, and that should be the way that they go forward. So I think that most things going forward, and especially next year, you're going to probably see pretty much every game have HDR.
I agree. I think, look, it's the same nonsense we've been saying since 2013. Microsoft comes out in June, mentions HDR, puts it on their console first in the Xbox One S, which released in August. Now the Pro has it in November, and now you see, 30 games for the Pro get it, and none get it for the Xbox One. Look, first of all, the Xbox One is selling hand over fist in the NPDs right now. They're winning. They're on 4 straight. They're going to go for 5 this month with a legitimate chance. My point being here is that enough's enough already with the developers and the nonsense. Let's stop with this. Well, they have more people on the other. Yeah. Vince Zampella took a risk and went with the bigger people on the other side. Look how that worked out. Nobody from PlayStation 4 supported Titanfall 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Titanfall, if there's a Titanfall 3, wouldn't be surprised if it comes back to a Microsoft exclusive. It's just, oh, is that a voicemail behind me?
Pinkie Pie, your ultimate party pony.
Even better, folks. Next call-in is going to win, I believe, we were talking about this, the all 3 Gears. It'll be Gears 1, Gears 2, 3, and Judgment. All those codes. You'll win all 4 of those codes for the next caller. Courtesy, Jay has them, actually. Jeff Hammerall. Shout out to Jeff Hammerall, who gave J Dubs the Gears code. So I appreciate that. But you know what I mean, Crap? I mean, that's my whole stick on that. But yeah, HDR will become more and more familiar to both platforms now that Sony's on board too. It's a damn shame we have to sit here and wait for a company like Sony. I mean, do you realize how big Microsoft is, Crap? I mean, they're like company 1, 2, or 3 respectively every year. They all kind of leapfrog each other every year.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has to wait for little old Sony, company number 47 on Forbes' top 100. We have to wait for company 47 to come on board before developers actually put it out there. It's a damn shame.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And, hopefully that's the standard going forward, not just for Sony, but for Microsoft as well. Like, I'm looking forward to that. And, I was looking at this thing, and apparently Walmart has this good deal right now. It's not HDR 4K, but it is a 4K 40-inch Samsung TV with the Xbox One S 1 terabyte, Battlefield 1, and also a 4K Blu-ray movie for $4.99. So,
wow.
Yeah, I think that's a hell of a deal. So I know a lot of people, maybe if you're on a budget, and because 4K TV is still going to look better with the S, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like so if you're just on a budget, I mean, for $4.99, you get a 40-inch 4K TV, a 1 terabyte Xbox One S, and a game, and you also get a 4K Blu-ray. So I mean, that's a hell of a deal. You guys should check that out immediately. And also, there's a lot of deals going on because of Thanksgiving and stuff like that as well. So everybody keep your eye out or whatever, because you're gonna find some pretty good deals and stuff. Real quick, if you didn't watch my video about the 4K TVs with HDR, You have to look for HDR 10 or HDR 1000 is what it's called.
Yeah.
That's what works with the Xbox One S. You also have to make sure that the TV's HDMI ports are 2.0 or higher. You know, if it's lower than that, you won't be able to do the HDR, because sometimes, like Sony does, TV manufacturers will advertise HDR, but they'll just say we have HDR mode or whatever. You know what I mean? That's not the same thing as true HDR. So you have to kind of watch out for that. And you also want to look for a good refresh rate. You know, if you get something with 120 refresh rate or higher, it's really going to make all the difference. Like the hertz is what they're called. Sometimes they'll just call them FRs or whatever. You know what I mean? So you want to stay away from the ones that are 60 normally. You know what I mean? You want to get something that's like around 120 or higher. So
agreed.
Definitely.
We do have another voicemail. I think we should probably take another voicemail.
Yeah, let's check out that voicemail.
20 minutes to kickoff too. Crap.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited because we got to beat the Cowboys today.
Yeah, big Ravens fan today. Big Ravens and Giants. Let's go root for both of those teams, folks.
Time to beat that Dak Prescott.
I think you can do it.
Yes.
We've got a voicemail from Timotheus.
Nice.
Okay.
Sounds like Prometheus' brother.
Crap, this is Timotheus, SSJ, something 3, I forgot my name. Anyway, I got 2 questions. First one is the Xbox Scorpio controller. I hear you guys say that it won't come with an Elite controller. I believe it will, because I don't see them making a premium console and upgrading the whole entire console and making it a half step with the controller. That wouldn't make any sense. I think it'll come with an Elite controller, which is a full step alongside the Xbox. My second question is, what do you guys think of when the Scorpio releases, there's a 4K sale? You know how they have like summer sales? Whether there's a 4K sale of all the games that got patched for 4K, you know, over 20, 30 bucks, like Doom or Gears of War. Like they have games, you know, on sale for like $10. Whether they have like a 4K sale, that'd be pretty crazy, huh? Let me know what you think and keep up the good work. Bye.
I don't know if they're gonna put. He's saying the Elite controller is gonna come with it.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
So.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. I was on board with you, Tim. I'm gonna shorten him to Tim. Tim, I was with you about 6 months ago, but then once I saw the redefined Xbox One S controller in the box, that controller is it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. I understand that. That controller is a thing of like amazement. It is fantastic. It's pretty much been engineered to the nines. I don't think with Microsoft trying, like we were saying earlier, me and Crap were saying, to even get to a $399, $499 price point, I don't think they can afford to put the $130 controller in there. Even though we know it doesn't cost them $130, but you guys catch my drift. I think you're going to get the Xbox One S controller, but maybe a little bit more, again, more refined. Maybe another button on there that has a share feature or something on there. Maybe something to that extent. But you're not getting an Elite in that package. If you do, I mean, I'll stand up and light a match for Microsoft at E3. I just don't think it's going to happen because of cost.
Yeah, they're trying to keep costs down, and not only that, I think that they're not making any money on the Elites,
right?
From what I understand. So, it wouldn't make sense to put the Elite in there because they're actually going to make a little bit of money by packaging the standard controller in there, as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, they're definitely going to do that. And even though it is a premium console, you can't just go, well, premium. Here's $1,000 console. You know what I mean? Oh, we have a wiener.
We have a wiener.
What's up?
Nice work.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Mooch. This question especially for Mooch. I just remember an article last month that I don't know, the spending on hardware, software, and accessories down 23% year on year. So I forget. So I think we talk too much about hardware and less about softwares. So we didn't realize that software sales goes down each year. I don't know. Maybe the games are not interesting anymore. Oh, before I forgot, I'm Afi. I'm from India. Thank you.
Well, he brings up a good point. That article did come out. We did touch on it back in the day on a couple of podcasts, Crap. But, you know, what he's saying is his hardware sales were down, I guess, year over year in one particular category, and the software were down too. I don't think it's that people are not interested in the games. I think that there's something called saturation. I think we're all kind of victim to it, you know, and you know, I said this on Crossfire. I'll say it again. Okay, this was in reference to Titanfall 2. The whole thing with Titanfall 2 is, and I'm picking on that one again, just because it was the victim. Forget all the other nonsense that we've talked about. Let's add Battlefield 1, Call of Duty, Gears, Mafia. Whether or not, even though it wasn't out yet, people still have ambitions and plans to buy Watch Dogs 2, Dishonored 2, Forza 3, Recore, Final Fantasy 15. These are all games that are coming out this holiday. Dead Rising 4. Every time I take a breath, another game comes out. My point being was Titanfall 2, there's always one game that ends up being the victim. In this case, it was Titanfall 2. And now you're seeing some people going out and grabbing it. A lot of people are like, hey, Mooch, I finally went out and grabbed it. It was $30. People kind of could justify it at that point. The problem that you see sales declining in software, or if you do in a scattered month here and there, is because people kind of get overwhelmed. And you know what they say to themselves? I can't decide on that game, and that game. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the 2 that I haven't completed yet that I already purchased. You know, that's what I think happens, crap. And we are the minority, okay? We are a very small potato chip crumb in this business, the hardcore, because the hardcore people go out and buy everything. YouTubers go buy everything. And sometimes we have to pinch ourselves. Even YouTubers have to pinch yourself and be like, you can't play all these games. You can't play all these games, not have a career and a family. That's not going to happen. So it's difficult to do that. So sometimes you see the public saying, a lot of times the public jump into community game night and they're like, I don't have this game, and this game, because frankly, I'm still playing this other game and I don't have time to play those other 3 games. So it doesn't mean that the games are bad. They usually get picked up later. But the point of the matter is that with the saturation of so much software out there, I think that's where you see dips sometimes. And that's just my bird's eye view. I've done no research on that.
Well, also you have to keep in mind that we're not there. Each year that comes out, there's less and less sales on PS3, Xbox 360. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have to take that into account too. So it's not really as bad as that, or people aren't buying stuff. I just think that those platforms have become more and more irrelevant, and so you're gonna have to make that up. And so they're like, oh well, it's down 0.8%. Like it's always doom and gloom with this stuff. So to me, I think like the Xbox One was up year over year. So I know for a fact that the Xbox One's up year over year. I don't know. I think the PS4 might have been down, but again, Sony would never admit to that other than to their financials where they said it was down year on year, but because people were, quote, waiting for the PS4 Pro or PS4 Slim or PlayStation VR or whatever, not because it doesn't have any games or anything. Certainly not.
Right. No, I mean, I think that you're 100% right, and I just think that Sony will never admit to that. So, it's amazing how Sony can get away with murder. But I mean, listen, the media hyped them up so much the first 3 years that this bubble had to drop. It just had to drop, and Sony's feeling the effects of it now, and they're feeling it threefold. VR, PSVR. I'm not gonna say VR, but PSVR is a flop. The pros, I don't care. Even if the pro wins them November, it's a flop because whatever number they were expecting to get money-wise that they needed to make, they're not going to get that money. Yeah. So even if they win NPD, which I still think is a stretch, even if they do, it's not going to be by the margin they wanted. And everyone needs to understand that. This is not just oh, look, they won. Good, let's all go celebrate. And they're going to play good times in great taste at Sony Studios, and everyone's going to be popping champagne. It doesn't work that way. They have to win by a percentage. They need to make a certain number. So even if they win, they can't win by like 15 or 10,000 consoles. They need 10,000. They have to win by like 50, 75,000, 100,000 consoles on a new release like this. And I don't think you're going to see that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So it'll be it'll be interesting. I'm always like paying attention to that kind of stuff to see how it goes, just strictly for that reason. Like I always want stuff to sell enough to warrant sequels and continuation. Like I don't want stuff like to happen what happened to Sega, which obviously Microsoft is a lot different position than Sega was. So
absolutely,
we'll have to see how that go. But hey, J-Dubs, we got a voicemail, eh?
Yes, we do. We have one from Xbox Trigger.
Xbox Trigger. Let's rack them up.
Hi, Mooch. Hi, Crap. This is Xbox Trigger from Twitter, also from Pennsylvania. Just want to tell you guys how I love the work you guys are doing. You're doing great for the Xbox community, the gaming community in general. My one question is, Xbox One NPD, but IGN still didn't report it. And I'm calling on Monday, actually, Monday the 14th. I was wondering why. If it was a PS4, it already be on Argo valid, but there's still no Argo about the Xbox. Also, I want to say thank you guys for doing everything you do in the community. We love you guys. Thank you.
Hey, well, we appreciate it. Thanks for calling in and leaving a voicemail and stuff like that. IGN, they're not really quick with the Xbox One NPD type articles or anything like that. And when they do, they're like, well, 3DS won, and then the Xbox was ahead of the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like they always do, even though every time the PS4 won, the 3DS technically won most of those too.
Yes,
but,
they do.
but they weren't really adamant with saying that only when Xbox wins. Because I remember I used to follow Jeff Keighley on Twitter, and every month that the PlayStation 4 won, he was the first motherfucker out there to go, yes, so Sony wins again with the PS4. That's 3 consecutive months. And then when Xbox finally won that, he didn't say shit.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? And he did that. There was like back-to-back months. He didn't say anything. So finally, I was like, whatever. I unfollowed him because it's like, it's blatant. Because when PlayStation came back and won after Microsoft, first thing he was out there, PlayStation 4 takes back NPD crown and beats the Xbox One. You know what I mean? So
the bias out there. Great point, Crap, too. When Sony was on their hiatus winning NPD after NPD, even if it was a quick 50-second YouTube video they put out, IGN had it out immediately. This just in, Naomi Kyle here. Sony wins its 8th NPD. Don't have any air time for that. Going to make a latte. IGN out. It was like, wait, what? I'm like, that just came out like 5 minutes ago. But then you have, I don't hear anything. If it wasn't for the Xbox community and Aaron Greenberg, I wouldn't even know Xbox won the NPD till like 5 days later. Because there's nothing online. I think IGN does one the day after now because they're like, well, we gotta, right? I mean, we just have to.
Yeah.
So, it's nonsense. And you know what? Thanks for the call, by the way, Xbox Trigger. I appreciate the call. And let me tell you something. Even though we don't, if you don't hear us say thank you, I want to say thank you to all the callers that call in and voicemail and the audience, because every time you guys say you appreciate us doing this, it means a lot, and honestly, we look forward to doing this. Like I said, Crap got 3 hours sleep, and he's on enough NyQuil to put Johnson & Johnson out of business.
I know, and then I had to deal with the changing a tire this morning and fucking dealing with my throat and bad internet. Yeah,
new curfew for you, Crap. You can't stay up past midnight on game night, no matter how good it is. Unless you take Sunday off from work.
Yeah.
No, it was. Listen, last night was great. The community's fantastic. These calls are fantastic. And thank you guys. You guys are calling and thanking us. And I'm just gonna Superman to that and put it right back at you guys. I think that the thank you is all on your side. And you know what? Even after Crap had a talk with Phil a couple of weeks ago. Phil even let us know that a lot of people do listen to our shows, and there is an influence in the community. And we do try to bring truth and entertainment to the show. Well, at least I do. I know Crap tries to. It's something that we strive for on here. BGST is one of the best shows I think you can watch. I don't think there's a more entertaining show than BGST. Tonight's going to be fantastic. We do this because we give a shit and we have fun doing it. So I applaud all of you guys. Thanks for watching us and following us through the week. And I think you're going to see a lot more news coming up as we get closer and closer to the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, like with PSX and stuff coming out.
Yes.
And, Microsoft, who knows? I hear stuff, you hear stuff. I'm hopeful that we're going to see and hear a lot of interesting stuff coming up before the end of the year. So I'm very excited for that.
Absolutely.
We've got one more voicemail. We might as well go ahead and dig in.
Yeah, let's do that because then we have the Wheel of Wonder and 1 o'clock kickoff for all you G-Men fans and Raven fans out there.
Hell yeah.
So we have our last voicemails from Jeffrey, but before I get into that, I just want to congratulate. That was Maverick that won the Gears codes, and he just messaged me and said that he wants to donate those codes, and he's going to donate those to Doc Cupcake for his program. It's for the
supply drop.
Supply drop. So we're going to
Very
send
cool.
those codes off to Doc Cupcake.
Thank you, Maverick, for the donation. And guys, it's a good time to just do a plug for Doc Cupcake at Doc Cupcake. And I forgot he has, I think, a numerical finish to it. But subscribe to him. He does a lot for our wounded heroes, our veterans, and active military, so that while they're out there, they can play games. I can't remember how many Xbox Xbox Ones he donated a year ago. I think it was 13 or something like that. It was an amazing number. The guy's just he's an American hero as far as I'm concerned, and he's a veteran himself.
He's a very stand-up guy. He actually assisted me in getting M&C Mornings up in iTunes. I was back and forth with him quite a few times.
Yeah, he's a community leader.
That's right. He's an amazing guy. And
hell yeah. And we are on iTunes. That's awesome.
Yeah, we are on iTunes, everybody. So please go check us out. Subscribe to that.
Yeah, and soon we'll be on Google Play as well. We're just waiting to be accepted. It's a kind of a verification process where they go through, and same thing with iTunes. That's what took iTunes so long, is they basically have to go in and verify that it's a proper podcast for the public, and then they give you access. So that's awesome. Okay, so last voicemail is coming through. It's from Jeffrey.
Jeffrey!
Hey guys, it's Jeffrey, and on Twitter they had this thing about name a more iconic duo. You know, they're trying to say that the Kardashians were like the most iconic duo. So, can you guys tell me a duo that's more iconic than the Kardashians? Thanks.
Mooch and Crap.
Yeah. Don't you see Jay's logo he's got out there?
Yeah.
Since Sonic and Tails, nothing better than Mooch and Crap. Yeah. So that's my first answer as well. I don't know, Crap. You're a little bit more into the comics and stuff like that. I don't know. What do you think's a great duo?
More dynamic duo than the Kardashians.
Well,
Shit, man, I think the corn and rice for dinner,
rice and beans. Yeah,
there you go. That's a more iconic duo as far as I'm concerned.
Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Exactly. There you go. See, you nailed it. I absolutely think that. So, absolutely. So, yeah, man, it's been a really good show. My throat is like killing me, so I wanted to do the Wheel of Wonder.
You got it, Crap. Crap's like, I'm dying here, so
yeah, like my throat.
You got another podcast tonight with BGS.
I know. Maybe I'll be there, but I'll be like hanging in the background just to hear let you say PS4 Pro does just a little bit more, and then hear.
K-Mega scream.
K-Mega go, send that shit to Hades. Yeah.
And then we'll go from there, Crap. Meanwhile, you can be the same Crap that you were on Crossfire, which was drugged up on Robitussin and Halls.
Absolutely. Like, I don't feel bad. Just my throat is raw. You know what I mean? Like, just it's
that time of year, man. Even though you're in Florida, like you said, you're still getting a temperature shift.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? It was 85 one day, and the next day it went down to like 40 in the morning. Yeah. And so, like, even today, this morning, I got up, it was like 46 degrees.
I woke up to an inch and a half of snow.
Jeez,
It's done now, but
now.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just a dust thing. I mean, the roads are clear. But I mean, that was shocker. I was like, "Is it snowing out?" And they're like, I like watching the weathermen. They're like, "Yep,
absolutely." So
we love that bad news.
The wheel of morality spins.
Yes. All right, Jay, we're ready when you are, buddy.
Okay, we're ready. Let's just finish. Let's go full screen, and away we go. We've got extra spins here, so it's like the Showcase Showdown. Before the Showcase Showdown, when you go and spin the big wheel, well, I did put extra spins on this wheel today.
Very nice.
Okay, here we go.
Closest to $1 without going over. Very interested to see who wins this Crap. Tony the Pony. Wow.
Tony the Pony.
Tony the Pony wins.
That's great because Tony, he just made his move over to the Xbox One S. I don't think anyone could use a 12-month Xbox Live Gold membership more than him.
Yeah, congrats, Tony the Pony.
Nice work, Tony the Pony.
Yeah, you won. You racked that up. A year of Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. Congratulations. We do giveaways all the time, so make sure you guys call in and leave voicemails. I think the Skype voicemail thing is working again, right, right, Jay?
Yeah, it's coming through. It's not playing our custom voicemail message, but you are getting the default female voice that comes up.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's very inconsistent. So I don't want to tell people to rely on it. The way that we've got the emails works really, really well. So
there's multiple ways people can do it. They can if they have no other option, they can call. Like if you're on a Windows phone, that's your option.
Exactly.
That's right. And just to let people know that there's some people that were messaging me saying, you know, how do you choose your voicemails? Well, I try to get all the voicemails in by Friday. I do a lot of my work on Friday, get all the voicemails ready and get them all put into the system. If you call on Saturday, you're probably going to be on the next week. And if I have missed your call, I apologize. You know, computers are only as good as their programming. So if I'm not getting the messages, they're not coming through. So we apologize to people that have tried to get in and haven't. So sorry.
Well, no, don't feel sorry. I mean, they'll call back. There's always next week they can call in and, you know, win some cool stuff. But congrats to Tony the Pony, man, and you can enjoy a year of Xbox Live. Congrats. That's all day. So do you want to rack up the outro and we can talk until it starts echoing?
Yeah, it's going to start echoing anytime now.
Crap, can you do the Garrick?
Today, I feel like the luckiest man on the face of the planet.
I love it. That never gets old. Yo, thanks everybody. Thanks for the call-ins. Thanks for Mooch's fucking backdrop voice behind him. I love it. I want to thank everyone. Have a good Sunday. Let's go, G-Men.
Go leave it. Back them up. You guys here. Tweet on Mooch's channel. Call in.